Cowboys versus the Ravens this weekend. Um, what are your thoughts? How you feeling? Are they coming out with a victory?
Um, I do think the Cowboys have what it takes to win this game. It's a
Yeah,
very interesting matchup. A lot of people have been talking about the fact that the Ravens need to win this game. I'm like, the
Yeah.
Cowboys need to win it too.
Yeah.
Like
yeah.
I
the
don't
the
know if you
Cowboys have
noticed,
came.
Jazz, but I got the purple lights going on
Oh, I
in
know
the
this.
background. So, I look, I gotta dig deep. I gotta find something that the Ravens can take from what the Saints did to the Cowboys and see what they could do there. But
Yeah,
yeah,
Lamar ain't throwing it like that.
I mean,
you
I
said
think you're
what?
gonna have a hard time,
Lamar ain't
especially
throwing it
with.
like that, bro.
I
I'm just talking
I
about
don't
that
even think
game.
that Lamar is the biggest issue. Is he going to be an issue? Yeah, absolutely. But I feel like the inconsistency on the Ravens offensive line is going to be a weak point that's going to get
Yeah,
attacked.
yeah,
Especially
Mm-hmm.
now that, like I said earlier, we do have two players. So it's like we don't have to take Micah and make him the spy on Lamar. We can put Overshown like watching Lamar and then have Micah take it to number 77. I don't know how to pronounce his last name and I don't want to get it wrong. But I was
Mm-hmm.
watching film of him earlier and I'm like, I don't know how Lamar ain't cussed him out yet. And maybe he has. But that dude, that dude acts like he hates Lamar Jackson. I'm just like, can you
Mm.
protect this man, please? So
Yeah.
I can really see them kind of bullying him a little bit because he's kind of shown a propensity to let pressure get to Lamar. So I feel like if I had to pick one thing that's going to end up being a weak point, I feel like that offensive line is going to be it, especially the right side.
Mm.
I hope Derrick Henry takes this game personal because
Why would he do that?
allegedly he was supposed to be a cowboy.
Did he want
He
to be a cowboy? I don't know.
um I don't know. I don't
I
know if he
I
wants
heard
to
those
be
rumors too.
because
Yeah, I
I've
But
heard
you
the
know what?
heard
rumors
I
that
don't
that he
blame you
might
for
have
hoping
said
he takes it
something to
personally.
somebody.
yeah.
Like Derrick Henry might have said something to somebody on a Dallas in a Dallas what do you call it, paraphernalia or something at a game or somewhere. I
Mhm.
don't know. I like to spread rumors that may or may not be true, but I have heard that he has had conversations with Dallas personnel or players or whoever saying, "Hey man, I wouldn't mind playing in Dallas." I did hear that last year for certain. I don't know how true or false it is, but I know I heard
Well, I'm sorry that that didn't work out, and he like
it.
I can I can understand he wanted to take it personally. If I were rooting for the Ravens, I would want that as well. But yeah, he when it comes to weaknesses on the Cowboy side, that is something that I could see being an issue unless they really get it together when it comes to defending against the run.
They got
What
to
we
run
did
though.
on
The Ravens got to
Sunday,
run. They keep saying they
yeah,
want to run, but they acting like they don't. They acting like they want Lamar to run and not have like a complete running game. Because what the hell you get Derrick Henry for? You know what I'm saying? Like the game last week against the Raiders. That's a game where the last 10 minutes, Derrick Henry, you get that man, 6, 7 carries to close that game out. They gave that man one carry in the last 10 minutes of that game. So I don't know what the hell you brought him over here for
let's
if you
see,
just
Derrick
gonna
Henry 31 attempts on the season.
on the season,
that
yes.
that sounds crazy.
On the season. That
I
Yeah, I would
mean,
expect that number to be higher.
yeah,
It
look,
could be
but
lower.
15. I mean, average. I know he got 13 the first game, and I do the
about
math
17
on
to 18 the second
17.
game.
Yeah,
Yeah, I think a runner like Derrick Henry, a lot of people are wanting to see that 20 to 25
mm-hmm.
carries per game
Hmm.
number. That's what people are wanting to see.
Right.
But you're right. Looking at these numbers, and hold on, let me expand this.
And I'll say
I'm
this
not one of
too.
those people who memorize the stats. So go
Right.
ahead.
Oh, we
And
make
I,
him up as we go. So
yeah, yeah. If I see something, I'll remember it. I'll say it. If not, I'll just make something up. But for me though, and the numbers are good. He looked better this week than he did the first week. It's
Mhm.
again, it's about the moments. It's about okay, it's the last ten,
When it's
12
happening.
minutes of the game. You got a 10
hmm
point lead. You know the Raiders don't want no smoke with Derrick Henry. You know this, and you only get a man one carry in the last 10 minutes of the game.
Has anybody on your staff been asked why that's not happening?
No,
Because I know our coaches got drilled about why we didn't use Overshown more on Sunday.
And see, this is the thing, because I live in the Baltimore area, so I listen to quite a bit of sports talk. I listen to some Ravens podcasts here and there, and there appears to be a thing with local media kind of worrying about their credentials being taken away from them because of asking the tough questions. That's just something
that'd be weird.
Yeah, right. Like that's something that appears to be a thing according to people that I've spoken to and listened to around town. I'm not sure if there's any truth to that, but if there is, then it could explain why. And look, I'm not a guy that pretends to be tuned into John Harbaugh's presses every week, but I do see clips, and when I hear the questions, it's like y'all asking the same as soft questions. Like, I want to know why you started this offensive lineman versus that guy. Like, I need you to answer for the offensive line.
Why Derrick Henry only got one carry in 10 minutes?
I need you to I need you to ask these questions.
I haven't watched as much film on the Ravens as I would have liked to at this point. It's only Tuesday.
Yeah.
But just putting different pieces together, and based on what I've heard from other staff members of other teams and other players, if you've got an inconsistent offensive line, I can see how it'd be hard to get any rhythm in the run game. And so that could be an issue where maybe Lamar doesn't even trust his offensive line enough to call run plays, because somebody's got to handle those blocking assignments, right? Mm-hmm. And so if he doesn't think that they'll handle it properly, or if it's something that Derrick Henry has complained about, maybe they've had to go a different direction. That is 100% speculation. I don't want anybody clipping that and putting it out there like Lamar doesn't trust his own. Like, this is speculation based on what I've read and a few things that I have seen. But I think that could be a possibility, because like I said, 31 attempts on the season, not terrible, but I do think people would like to see at least 40, 45 at this point.
Right.
Yes.
Right.
I'm thinking 20 carries, 20 plus per game.
Yeah.
Is what I'm
and then, like
at.
you said, the moments are a big deal, because the moments can make a big difference. Because it's like, if you eat, people are making a big deal about the Ravens being 0-2, right? I feel like I'm a Ravens content creator now, but people are making a big deal about the Ravens being 0-2. But each game,
magically.
This is a background that I use. Like, when the Cowboys lose, I don't use the true blue, but I like the color purple. So it's just a coincidence.
Okay.
I'm gonna have to change it back to blue tomorrow. I cannot go.
The Ravens could be an AFC team. You can have an AFC and an NFC team. It's okay.
Don't start that bullshit. Don't you start that shit.
But yeah, so the Ravens are 0-2, but each game has been lost by a possession or less. So that literally means that a moment here, a moment there could make a difference. Because when we're talking about 3 points, 7 points, you're not talking about a whole game of fuck ups. You're talking about a series here, a possession there, a couple of plays, part of a drive can make a difference in that. You get all the way into the end zone versus a field goal, and all of a sudden one of those games is different. You get all the way down to the end zone instead of, throwing an interception, which you can't throw an interception if you're running the ball. Then all of a sudden, these games are different. So yeah, I can definitely understand fans' frustration with being like, yo, these are the moments we'd like to see Derrick Henry. And we feel like these moments could make a big difference in how this whole season plays out, because you have a statistical point to make to support that could very well be true.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So
I'll say this. I'll say this though. If there's one thing I had to worry about against the Cowboys this week, me and Maestro, we talked about this guy early on. Marlon Humphrey, I don't know what's going on with him, but he's been getting cooked by these number one. He's been getting cooked by these number ones lately. And CeeDee Lamb, man, they got to find a way. All I'm gonna say is they got to find a way.
I think Marlon Humphrey is going to be barbecue chicken this weekend, and I don't think it's going in y'all favor off of that alone. I don't think they're going to be able to do nothing.
Hold on, I want to pull up some of y'all's defensive plays now. I'm like, what did he do?
I don't think he gonna want no CeeDee Lamb smoking, unless you telling me that that rookie y'all got from Clemson is going to be able to hold it down.
Yeah, Wiggins, he got in a car accident So I'm not even.
That's right.
Yeah, so I'm not even sure I'm not sure he's gonna play or not. Prayer to the homie, but
for sure.
But yeah, I'm not sure.
Barbecue or alternate Wiggins. Hey, Marlon Humphrey. Hey, Trippy gonna be yelling at him again. Barbecue chicken.
The only hope, because I've watched some of CD's game. Like they like to put him in the slot, several different times to get that right matchup. So I'm not sure.
He can line up from anywhere.
Right, he can line up for anywhere. I don't know that necessarily means Marlon's going to be following him everywhere, but I don't think he's going to follow him in the slot because Marlon, that's just not his game to be in the slot. So,
I'll be honest with you, but y'all consider Marlon Humphrey y'all best cornerback. So if Marlon Humphrey, if he your best cornerback, all right, just move him off of Marlon Humphreys. And if he already barbecue chicken with Marlon Humphreys, then some other niggas definitely gonna be barbecue chicken. So
Kyle Hamilton is my only hope.
And he's not gonna be able to. He's not gonna be able to see him in the slot. I'm telling you that right now. Kyle Hamilton is not gonna be able to see CeeDee Lamb in the slot.
Something else to consider is the fact that while CeeDee Lamb gets a lot of attention, and people talk about the fact that Brandon Cooks is not a qualified number 2, Brandon Cooks can make plays.
Yeah,
and then we've got a rookie that a lot of people are wanting to see get playing time that, I might be going out on a limb here, but he's got a really aggressive playing style that I just feel like if they give him a shot, he could surprise a lot of people too. So while there may not be like this definitive number 2 that people point to as a threat, the rest of the receiver room, like they're not terrible. They're not terrible. They're definitely players to pay attention to.
Yeah, definitely. And for me, as a Ravens fan, defensively, I think our defense is playing okay in certain moments. I think the pass rush has picked up a little bit, but there still seems to be something wrong in terms of the play calling on the defense. We got a new defensive coordinator in Zach Orr. He used to be a former Raven as a player. The Ravens like to do this. They like to promote from within. I don't think they've gotten anybody outside of the organization to run defense pretty much since its inception. So, they kind of like to, keep things in house and things like that.
They seem to really value the culture of the Ravens defense and perpetuating that.
Yes.
Which, respect for that, but you do want to make sure that whoever you get is capable of installing the right things.
Sure. No question. Shout out to Kevin Gray. That's our buddy right there.
Kevin Gray.
Shout out to the homie. We know Kevin from what, like 8-9 years ago when we first started this thing.
Yeah, man.
KG, good to see you. Thanks for watching.
Yeah, man. So I ain't gonna hold you. I got the Cowboys winning. I know.
Of course you do. Of course you do.
I'm looking forward to that 0-3. I'm a Pittsburgh Steelers fan, so I'm definitely looking forward to that 0-3.
Of course you do.
But it's not. It is really based on the idea that I don't know how y'all covering CeeDee Lamb. Like I think he about to have a monster game.
Well, and then on the other side, Zay Flowers, while he's not the greatest receiver, Zay Flowers can find them creases. He can find, open spots in the field and, have his way, with some of the Dallas DBs. So Dallas is going to have to worry about that, in addition to Derrick Henry, if they ever, get him in rhythm.
I would say in terms of some of the ways that we've seen the DBs slip up on the Cowboys side, I would say a lot of the things they've struggled with are very duplicable by Zay Flowers. So that's one of those things where it's like when we talk about the league being a copycat league and people looking at what worked against the Cowboys, I could definitely see that being an issue depending on how they decide to use Flowers. And I haven't watched that much of the Ravens to know exactly what the scheme is and things of that nature. But, just understanding what Zay Flowers is capable of, I could see him causing a little bit of trouble, But I do think also one of the things that we know about the Cowboys is that they have a tendency to just come back with a vengeance after a loss. They usually, I can't really remember the last time they lost 2 games in a row. I want to say that it might have happened last season, but before that, it was like a really long time. But either way, whenever I think about what it feels like went wrong, this past Sunday, especially on the defensive side of the ball. I feel like those things are very fixable. And I think that's going to be the big point of emphasis for the Cowboys. It's not like there's one particular player that's particularly weak or something that they're just not good at. It really just looks like a lot of miscues and a lot of missteps and things that they really need to clean up, to where if they can continue the work that they did last week to prepare for the Saints and continue that to get even better and prepare for the Ravens, I don't think they'll have a whole lot of trouble. So unfortunately, I do see them winning. And I say unfortunately because I got a lot of love for Lamar Jackson. And I can only imagine what the narrative is going to be if the Ravens start 0-3. But that's
they want the coach
about.
out of here. They want the coach up out of there. Like you should see the discourse on Twitter. They want Harbaugh's ass up out of there. They just tired of it. And me personally, I'll be honest, I'm a little tired of it also. His seat has to get hot if they lose on Sunday. It has to get hot.
Okay, that's fair.
At this point.
See the fair.
Yeah,
firing him is a little.
Well, yeah, you're not going to fire him in the middle of the season, especially after week 3. You're not going to do that. You're going to let him ride it out, and then if it's time to part ways, then it's time to go. But the folks in the area, what's that? 0-5. Still, I think what we've seen with the organization, I think they're just going to hold on to him until season's end. I think they're going to do the right thing.
That's the rational, logical thing to do. I feel like anywhere.
They did it with Billick. Remember, they did it with Billick. They started 4-2, and then they had to slide. They ended up 5-11, and they just let him go at the end of the year. So I wouldn't expect any different. But that seat, if we lose Sunday, that seat had better be hot for him.
Yeah, for sure.
For sure. Hey, Jazz, I got one last thing for you.
Sure.
So you write for the